welcome back. All right, so
Yes,
we're
sir.
here. Yeah, man. So we're here once again with another Buzz Slayers interview. We're here again with Born Soul. Um, you have a new EP that you did,
Yes, sir.
right? And so this thing, it's the Tut EP. That's the title of it, right? Tut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing. So here's what I picked up from it. So I got, obviously, for all those watching this, I got privied. I get privy to the stuff. No, it was dope, dude. You used a lot of classic, like vintage style soul and jazz and all kinds of strings. Like it was very kind of the lyrics were, you're always kind of like pretty straightforward, kind of very honest lyrically.
Yeah.
A little bit like conscious hip hop style, which I really liked. This record felt like kind of like a presence, like an uplifted presence, like, yo, I'm here, I'm about to, like, I'm here to elevate things, is kind of like what this was saying, and I like that. I picked up a lot on that, like, but it wasn't aggressive. It was like peaceful. It was like, yo, man, I'm here to do this, but I love the samples that you use and the beats that you use. So my first question really is, when it comes to a record like this one, I think a lot of people would want to know, like, what influences what? Like, do you, with the Tut EP, did you start off writing lyrics, or do you hear the beat and then write the lyrics to the beat?
The beat. I start with the beat. I get the whole, I'm an ambiance guy, like we spoke about earlier.
Right.
I paint this picture, get this movie together in my head, and that's how I come up with it. And I'm influenced more about I guess I'm influenced by how can I put it? By what's going on currently in the world.
Right.
That was my view. Yes.
Yeah, but from it's your perspective on things.
Right. My perspective. Right.
Right. But it does also kind of like you bring your personal life into it here and there too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, this project is more so not necessarily, I guess, from anything personal. I'm trying to guide. This is more of a guidance thing. Pretty much, I'm using some of the concepts that I use in my own life to keep me from going crazy, so to speak. And I know a lot of people are having hard times, like grasping things and analyzing what's going on. And so this was an introduction to how to do that, so to speak.
Right. It's your method on how to deal with the world as we know it right now.
Yeah.
And there is a lot going on. Everyone's got opinions and perspectives, and I don't think anyone really knows how to deal with it.
Right.
I don't think anyone knows how to deal with it, man. I mean, it was a very expressive, record. So when it comes to like the beats, because I remember last time you had specific places where you get beats. Is it the same place that you're getting the beats for this? Because what I noticed was that there was a consistency. Like some of it was like, it was all very storytelling. When it came to the leads, always telling a story, which is one of my favorite things about it, because the way that you like kind of like phrase your lyrics, a lot of it can be like kind of like right in your face, and so you tell such a good story that you kind of cling on to that. But the beats and the music gave the songs like each like this certain kind of mood, which I really liked. It was a little experimental, which was cool. Very, to me, like, again, the old school soul, like vintage soul and jazz stuff coming in and out. When you hear a beat like that, does that fuse something? And follow-up question really is, some of the beats were stood a little outside that realm, you know what I mean? And then some of them, but a lot of it fell into place with that same vibe, To me, it was heavily cinematic and like almost theatrical feeling,
Right.
So do you grab your beats from the same place, and did you pay attention to like, all right, I want the beat and the beats and the style of the EP to be confluent, consistent?
Yeah, with this EP, definitely wanted to be consistent because I'm still trying to get my sound out there, what Born Soul is bringing to the table.
Yeah.
So once again, I did all the production. So like I said, it's all about a picture that I'm painting for a certain type of vibe, because I start out with the vibe first before I even think about lyrics. Once I
Right.
get the vibe together, the beat comes together, the melodies, everything come together. Once I get that track together, then I can come up with a concept to that specific track. So,
Right. And then how do you do it so that like all the songs kind of connect with each other?
um, pretty much, I just solely pick what I'm trying to the ambiance I'm trying to grab. I pick a subgenre and I stick to that subgenre.
Ah,
So I'm not all over the place. I'm not trying to do a trap and
right.
then I have ambiance and then it's just
Right.
all
Yeah.
over the place. So
Right.
so with I pick more so of a lo-fi trap type sound.
Hmm.
So I stuck within that realm and built from there.
Yeah. So you pick like the subgenre, you go, okay, everything's going to be in this plane.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
aesthetic's going to be following along. Because I noticed that too throughout the record. And um, there's definitely a lot of old school samples and beats going on. Um, and I feel like, this was, I feel like it all kind of hits you. It feels like it's a record that all hits at once, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of messaging to take in.
Hmm.
Um, how long did it take you to complete this one?
This one took me 6 months. Uh, roughly 6 months, 7 months, around in that area. Took me, I guess it took me longer to I guess get the mixing and mastering together because certain type of ambiance I'm trying to bring since I'm doing a lot of messaging and
Hmm.
really spoken word type, rhymes and stuff like that. So that ambiance has to be there. So, but yeah, it took me pretty much roughly 7 months.
Yeah, damn. I mean, so when it comes to the mixing process, is that 100% you
1,000% me, mixing and mastering.
mixing MS? So that's going to be the longest part, right?
Yep.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the mix and the master. And so, like when you're mixing these songs, do you record the whole record first and then step back and say, all right, now or do you do a track and you're like, I'm gonna mix this track? Because what if like, you know what I mean? Like, do you do individual track? Like you said, it took like 6 to 7 months, right? So let's
Hmm.
say the first couple of tracks or whatever number they ended up being, you do the first couple of tracks and you go, all right, I'm gonna mix these, take a break and then come back to writing more, or do you wait till the whole thing is done and then you sit back and go, all right, I'm gonna spend the next fucking 3 weeks mixing it? Is it like that or?
Well, what I do is, first of all, I mix the beat. I mix the music first, get the music pretty much mixed.
Right.
Then I backdoor it, come in, write the lyrics, lay the vocals down. And once I lay the vocals down the way I want them, I leave that song alone. I go to the next song. I leave it open, give it a little break, let it breathe.
Yeah.
So I go on to the next one. So because when I go back to that one, it's always something I could fix, or I hear something, or how that goes. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much my process.
Yeah. So you don't want to have a song and be like, all right, I'm going to focus on mixing this song. And then you do 3 other songs. And then 3 or 4 months later, you go back to that first track and go, oh man,
Yeah.
I bet I needed to fix that and I didn't fix it. So
Yep.
that's gotta be probably one of the bigger challenges, because to me, it's like, I forgot that you do all these things. I forgot you do every aspect, um, from the creation to the mixing and the mastering, because that's like so much to take in,
Yeah.
as someone that's, mastered lots of stuff and sat in on lots of mixing sessions and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, because when it comes to mixing stuff like this, plus you also, then at the end, you have to take yourself out of the record. It's like, okay, well, now I have to mix this record. And so do you give yourself comparisons or references type of thing to work
Definitely.
with? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you always
Definitely.
in the same studio? You always in your
Same
setup?
studio. Yep. Same studio. But
Okay.
the whole trick, the whole I guess the fun fact about my mixing, I mix through the headphones. I don't use studio monitors. But
You
the
do.
key to that is you have to have the volume turned all the way up in the headphones, or you won't get a good mix. So the I guess the reasoning for that is because when you're mixing, you shouldn't the loudness shouldn't affect your ears. That lets you know that you're on the right path with your mix. But if you start getting some resonance touching your eardrum and stuff, like, something is off.
You mean
So
like when something's too hot or something? You mean
yeah,
like
when
it's
something's too hot,
peaking and
peaking and not the EQ correctly or compressed correctly, you'll hear it. But
Right.
yeah,
If it's too, if
yeah,
it's in the headphones, but it's not, it's like a medium or a lower volume, you won't hear any of that. You're saying.
exactly. So just say for instance, if you're a DJs, a
Mhm.
lot of times if you're in a loud club or something like that, you have the volume turned all the way up in those
Yeah.
headphones so you can hear your mix. That's what
Yeah.
I do.
Right.
Exact same thing. Yeah.
Smart. But do you do like I know lots of artists they do however they mix. Let's say they do headphones or monitors or whatever. I know a lot of bands, a lot of artists, and, you know, they go, okay, cool. I'm going to mix this onto whatever, whether it's CD if they're going old school or whatever it is, you know, MP3. They go and play it in their cars. That's something that
Yep.
you do to make sure.
Yep. Yeah, you have to do that. Have to do that. Plus,
Yeah,
like I said, I have a partner. I
yeah,
sent it to him because he's a DJ.
yeah.
So he tells me immediately, man, that bass is too high. I mean, bring the bass down. The low end is this. He can hear it immediately. We have pretty much the same ears, which is great.
Right.
Because sometimes mine get fatigued. And I send it to
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's like you're doing all this stuff yourself, dude. It's like, how do you get out of that? You know,
Well,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You have to have
yeah.
like a space where you're like, all right, like I did all these songs and now I'm not even gonna I'm gonna chill out for 2 weeks before I even start. Do you do stuff like that? Like I need to take a break
Oh yeah.
and just
Yeah,
start
like
mixing next week type of thing, you know?
yeah, when you're in the studio, my I guess my thinking is you're only good for 2 hours in the studio. A lot of people staring there all day. I don't see how they do that all day, all night. 2 hours
You
is max
you
to
mean for
me.
mixing?
No, just for studio period.
So
After
for
2 hours
everything.
of strong, like I don't care if you're recording, writing,
Right.
producing, mixing, and mastering. 2 hours is max. Then you got to take a break for at least
Yeah.
minimum 2 hours, 3 hours, and then come back type thing.
I like that rule. I like that rule
Yeah.
because if you sit there for too long, you start forgetting what even sounds good.
Yep.
You know, you're like, with this, especially if you're working on the same track. Like, imagine
Yeah.
working on the same track. And I've sat through stuff like that too for 5, 6 hours. And it's like, you know,
Yeah. And you
you're
start
sitting there.
settling. Yeah, you start settling for certain stuff, and then that sounds good. Let's just move on. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. Or not even
Yeah.
settling. It's just for me as an outsider sitting and watching other people mix their stuff or
Yeah.
watching a producer mix other people's stuff, even.
Yep.
Even as an outsider, it's not even like, oh, that sounds good, let's move on. It's more like you've been listening to this over and over and over and over and over for so many hours that you literally can't tell if what sounds good and what doesn't. And you know what I mean? You're like, does this sound like shit right now, or does
Yeah,
that good?
right.
You know,
I
did I
got you. Yeah.
turn that bass up or did I turn it down? I can't even. I don't know. You know,
Yep.
it's like you turn the bass down. And it's like, all right, well now I got to turn that snare down a little bit because now the bass is, you know, and then, oh wait, now the vocals got to be in the middle somewhere, and then oh shit, you know. I mean, to me, that's like for one person to do that on their own, it gives me like it gives me like stress, like thinking about it. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, dude. Oh, but it's
Yeah.
obviously it's a passion project. So I mean, it's something you are in love with doing, so that's why you do it, and that's why you take the time. But the production's sick. The production came out really good. Oh, the ones you sent me, like the final masters, they sound
Yeah.
dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
they sound dope. Everything sounds lined up. I really liked the song itself. Because that one was like the energy was like on that one. That had high energy and some cool samples. Is that like, do you have kids? Is that your kid in that song? This little sample?
No, that was actually an old school sample from back in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I wasn't sure. I had to ask because I listened to it. I was like, is that like
yeah.
this kid that he cut up and put it? So with the samples, you're cutting them up and you're putting them in places and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's the backbone that you build off of? Like, is there, you know, do you start with like an actual beat, just the drums section, percussion of it, and then you start throwing other stuff in there? Or do you take full minute-long samples of stuff and build on? Like, how does that work?
Obviously, I skim through samples, just different sounds, and obviously the sound, you know, my theme this time was lo-fi. So all the samples, I'm looking for that lo-fi sound. Once I find the lo-fi sound, I start playing with that, get the melodies together. And another fun fact is I pretty much format the melody before I even add the beat to it, if that makes any sense. So I pretty much add the breakdowns, I add the verse part, the chorus, and everything. So it's pretty much like a acapella melody, if that makes any sense.
Like vocally?
No, just melody wise.
Like, but the melodies of what the vocals are going to be.
Yeah, the melodies where the vocals are supposed to be. Yes, without no beat. It's just a straight up.
So then, how do you find a beat to match the melodies?
I have no idea. I guess it's a skill. Yep. I can't even tell you. It just comes to me. I know what kicks to use. It's weird.
I don't know is the answer.
And I know if I need a actual snare, or do I need a
you test.
Yeah, I just test it. Yeah.
You sit there and mess around and test stuff. God, that's got to be so much fun, dude.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun, because then eventually you hit the spot and you're like, oh, that's it. Right?
Yeah. So it's melody, it's melody, bass, and then the beat.
You build from the melody.
Yeah. So the drums and the snare and the hi-hats and stuff come at the very end.
Yeah, because the melody is the most important thing. You got to have the hook. The hooks have to be there. Like, I'm writing the hooks. This is the hook. Everything's got to revolve around that, and then it builds out. That's so crazy.
And I think about it as, just say I'm doing like a tiny desk session where I can go in there and just put the melody on, and I can do I don't really need a beat type thing. That's where I think about it. Where you can just get in there and just play the melody, and I can do the song.
Right.
So that's why,
And then you build off of that, though. Then you go, okay, cool. Now I'm going to test some kicks, test some snares. Where is this going to go? And then other stuff jumps on top of that.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, dude. So what was, I mean, you kind of brought it up in terms of, this is kind of like your guide to dealing with the world today. Is that what inspired? Did you get inspiration from a particular place where you were like, all right, I need to talk? Like, what makes you go, I need to talk about this and get it, put it out there? Is there something
well, I guess it's funny, to be honest. I had a neighbor come by, and she expressed how confused she was about the information that was being spewed out. And she said the information didn't match exactly what was actually happening in the streets, blah, blah, blah. So she's totally confused and blah, blah, blah. And she know it's hard to raise kids when you don't know what to tell them because you're confused about, So that was a huge inspiration too. Like, you have to be, and I guess to make a long story short, this project is pretty much channeling in on critical thinking. That's what we're missing right now. That's what this generation is missing, is critical thinking. You got to be able to assess things when they're told to you. You got to be able to assess it. Take it in. Don't believe everything you hear, so to speak.
Right. Don't just join a side and just be, trap yourself in a bubble. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that there's a certain generation of kids right now, and just people even now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the media that's shoved in our faces all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we pick up the phone and look at it, but it's there all the time.
Yeah.
And no one knows really what to make of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the propaganda, man, that's poisoning a lot of our minds. And that's the thing about Tut. And that's why and Tut, as a pharaoh, didn't do shit. I'm sorry for the expression, but he didn't do anything. But what he did do is he was in control of what he wanted his empire to I guess to be. So his ideology was, I'm not gonna do what my dad did, because my dad was a tyrant. He spewed tyranny all over the place. I'm not doing that. What I'm gonna do is bring, lead my empire and bring some flash to it, because he was known for his flash and the gold and his tunes and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's where I got that from. I said, he was really control of, his empire. So, and I backdoored that with, you have to be, he was control of his empire. You have to be in control of your mind. So
that's true.
That's what this project is about. Being in control of your mind and being able to assess things.
Yeah, for yourself. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on the critical thinking thing. I think that's a huge missing piece of the puzzle these days. And back when I was growing up, that was like, we didn't have, I mean, there was the news and there was all that stuff, but it wasn't like now. Now it's everywhere you turn, there's another, whatever they want to, whatever kind of like fear they want to spread or hate that they want to spread or whatever it is they're trying to, whatever, it doesn't matter what side it's coming from.
Yeah.
It's just always from a point of like aggression, or
Yep.
like you shouldn't like this for that, you shouldn't be part of this for that, and
Yep.
but
I mean,
no one takes it in for themselves and just go thinks for themselves about it. They always join something, and
yep. I mean, it's
that's what
not even really about, about the love and the hate part of the spewing. It's about food. It's about what they're doing to the food. It's about, healthcare, what they're saying about healthcare, what a bit saying. You have to be able to take that information in and assess, okay, is this really true what they're saying type
right,
thing? And really go in and see that's what's not happening. It's just everybody's confused about everything.
yeah.
So,
Because no one knows what to take for real or not. No
yep.
one knows. There's so much information, and now we live in a time period, which is one of my least favorites ever. Because now the AI is here, and now
Yep.
people, half the stuff that's out there is fake. I can make a fake interview right now of us, and
Yeah.
I could make you saying whatever I wanted to say.
Yep.
Like that's some scary. That's not cool. That's power. We shouldn't have that power. At all.
Yep. I agree.
Then we can post it, and then anyone would just believe that you said that because there it is.
Yep.
That's so bad. But I agree with the critical thinking thing. What about like, are you doing? I don't remember what you said last time about live shows, but are you doing any kind of performances? You did play shows. I know you told me about.
Yeah. I did a lot of open mic last year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I want to get more into actually doing some actual shows with more established artists, so to speak, like doing some opening for some tours and
cool
stuff like that, because I think I'm polished and ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my goal. Now I have one show scheduled in April where I'm latched on to a tour, so that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and also I'm trying to wait for an update on some South by Southwest stuff. So
I forgot about South by Southwest. Yeah, that's right. That's coming up too. Yeah, that's a big one. So I mean, it's just such a crazy thing that you're able to put all that stuff together into one project and release it. And I love the King Tut references and the back and forth. I mean, you're definitely someone who puts a lot of like, I guess like a lot of attention to like detail in terms of what you want to come through. You know what I mean? Yeah. And taking the time to, you don't rush it either. You take the time to do 6 months, 7 months. I mean, you're taking the time to make sure. So what is this actually really, what's the release date that you have, if you have one?
On the DS actually is currently out now.
It's out.
You can purchase it on my website.
Oh, okay.
And it's on YouTube. But as far as the DSPs, it comes out on the 12th.
On the 12th. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the website?
BornSoulMusic.com.
That's right. BornSoulMusic.com. Cool.
Yeah.
So you can get it there. You can actually get it there. Can you stream it there? Just listen to it, or do you have to
get it? No, you can't stream it there. You can buy it. You can buy it and download it there.
And listen to it. Yeah.
And you can go to YouTube and you can actually listen to it. Mm-hmm. But as far as streaming, it won't be ready until 12. So
right. Okay. Cool. So when it comes to like people that you're influenced by musically, we went through this last time, but have you been listening to anyone new lately?
Ooh.
Like who's in the cans right now? Like who's besides you, but who's in the cans?
I'm gonna go young on you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Marco Plus. My goodness. I don't know if you heard of Marco Plus.
No, Marco Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really into him. I mean, the cadence and the lyrics and the clarity of what he's bringing to the forefront is incredible.
Although is that the kind of stuff that like you think about when you're making your own stuff?
Yeah, as far as clarity and cadence, yes.
Yeah. You're definitely able to capture a certain aesthetic, especially with this record. I definitely think you capture a very particular aesthetic with this record, especially by, I mean, like you said before, doing the, getting like the vintage feel.
Yeah.
And I think that really works well with the style of rapping that you're doing on the record. You know what I mean? Like, it's, the way that you put it together was well thought out. I can't believe you do melodies and hooks before anything else. That's crazy to me. I can't even. I've been trying to think about that ever since you said it, and I can't put it to it. I can't put one and one together. But that's your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I got you. That's
because
funny.
you know the thing with this record is you can be really descriptive with the lyrics, so there's not really like a lot of confusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that about it. And you know, does it like? I would imagine I can't because you do so much of you do everything when it comes to releasing and writing and creating and recording and mixing and mastering. Like you do all this stuff, you know. I know it takes a long time to mix and master because I've sat in on that.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a dude who's going to sit and write a lot of lyrics though. So like when it comes to the lyrics, that's just as important as like the mixing is, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you want to have the message come across. Do you find like which is more challenging, do you think, for you? Is it more challenging to write the lyrics and get the messages across properly for a full record like this? Or is it harder to or is it harder to you know finalize the beats and finalize the hooks and finalize the mixes? And then whichever it is, do you ever go back and go, you know, I wish I changed something? Even now, if you listen to, is there any parts of the record that you go back and go, oh, you know, I wish I said this instead of that?
No. The reason why I say no is because I hate the studio. I hate recording. I love performing, but I hate recording. So whatever you hear on the actual record, I like tore it up and I hate that and blah blah and redone it and redid it again and done it again. So whatever I release, that sucker is on point. So now everything that I've released, is on point.
You went through that process already.
I went through that process.
By the time we get it, so there's no time you're going to be like, oh, man, I wish I didn't say.
Yeah, but that's the hardest part of what I do is actually recording the vocals live.
Really?
It's like painful for me. Yeah, it's like really painful because
it sounds so natural when you on the record.
Yeah, it's a painful process for me.
Yeah, why? Why is it so painful for you?
Because I don't like the way my voice sounds a lot of times, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't like. I like, man, you sound don't have any energy. Okay, bring the energy up. Then you bring the energy up, and you're like, okay, you sound stupid. Now that's too much energy.
Too much energy.
Yeah. So,
well, that all comes with the process of being your own artistic director, dude.
Yeah,
you know, at least you have your boy to bounce stuff off of, though. I mean, that's important too. I mean, does he give you feedback on that stuff too? Like, whoa, take it down, dude, with the vocals, or is he just like a mixing?
Well, once again, once he gets it, it's like perfect. So all he has to listen to is the the levels and make the quality and all that. Now, once he gets the lyrics, it's there. It's like there. On point. Yeah.
So the hardest part out of everything about it is actually recording the vocals.
Yeah.
Because it's just
for me.
Kind of for you. Yeah. Was writing the lyrics challenging?
No.
That kind of stuff just flows out of you?
Writing flows, production flows, mixing and mastering flows. Because it is what it is with mixing and mastering. You just gotta take your time. Yeah. Recording those vocals, oh my goodness. That's all I got. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I would have never thought. Yeah. So if you're doing a live show, does it feel the same then as like if you're recording?
I love doing live performances, man, because I know what I bring to the table. I know the quality of the lyrics. I know the clarity of my voice. I know how my voice carries. Yeah. So I'm really excited to spew everything out to the people. So man, I love.
But you don't feel that stuff when you're recording. When you get in front of the mic, you don't say that to yourself. I know how my voice spews. I know you don't think about that too. When you record?
Because it's all about everything has to connect. The music and the vocals have to connect.
Too much to think about.
If not, it's gonna sound like vocals sitting in a bunch of noise. If you don't. Yeah.
I get it. It's too much to think about. You know what I mean? It's when you're at the show, you already know what's going to be said.
Yeah.
You already know how it's supposed to sound. Because the record's done. So that answers my first question, which is definitely making the record is way more challenging than going and playing it live.
Right.
Because writing is just kind of flowing. The production is flowing. You just don't like the process of recording the vocals, but that's the only thing that's kind of like, I think that's normal for an artist to kind of, to an extent, be his own worst critic, and to an extent. I think that's
Yeah.
normal, you know, for you
Yeah.
to be like, ugh, I hate the sound of my voice on this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like before you like have is there anyone else that you bounce it off of though before you say, all right, I'm done? You bounce it off family, friends, your boys, anyone that who do you bounce this thing off of?
No, I bounce it off myself. Once I get it down to just a little section, because I record in sections. That's how bad it is. I record maybe 8 to 16 bars and I stop. I take a break, wait a couple of hours, and I go back to it and I listen to it again. And if it comes through like I, 1, 2, I say, okay, let's move on to the next part. But yeah, it's a process, man. It's
so it's like you have to go and you lay down like, some verses and then you put it down and go away. And then you come back and you listen to it as if it's not you to see if it sounds awesome or if it sounds not cool,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You could tell when everything just melts. It's like the music and the vocals just melt together. You can feel it.
Yeah.
If you don't feel it, you're like,
and what do you do then? You just redo the vocals again?
Yeah, if I don't feel it, I just redo it. But if it's there, I'll be like, okay, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. And then I just go on,
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Yeah. So I understand. So you step away so you can kind of take it from an outside perspective as much as you can. You come back and you go, it's like you're not listening to you. You're listening to another artist and you're going, all right, this way you can kind of be like, oh, that sounds awesome, or that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Or it's probably like, oh, everything's what I would imagine it's like everything sounds awesome except that 1 second of that one word, right? And you're like, now I gotta do the whole fucking thing over again, right?
Yeah.
I bet you, right? Oh my God.
And also what makes it a little bit easier to kind of feel if it meshes or not is because the music is already mixed. So with the music mixed and the ambiance is already there, you'll know if it meshes together. So.
And that's a thing too. That's a crazy thing too. I guess that makes sense though. So you never like lay down vocals and then go back and say, all right, well, I need to mess with the mix of the beat.
No, heck no.
That's like your particular process.
Yeah.
Is you get you write from the hooks, you write from the hooks, you write from the melodies. You go in, you create the song, you create the music, you create the beats.
No, what I do is I create the music. I create put it this way. I create the actual track. I start with the melody first. And I format the melody for the lyrics. Right. I don't really start writing until after I mix the total beat in Pro Tools.
Everything is done. And then after that, no matter what, you're not going back to mix the beat again. It's done and done.
There you go. Yeah. Once I mix that beat, I don't touch anything in the beat part. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, six tracks. So let's take Tut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Let's take Tut. Because I want to know. It's not going to play this. Okay. Well, you can't hear it from where you are, probably. You got all the vintage. You got the vocals. You got the vintage, the horns and stuff coming in on the track Tut. There's the sample I thought was like a kid. Right? So by this point, let's take Tut. Like, how do you build in those like samples to make it work around the song? Like, is that what comes first? You find the sample first and you say, cool, I got an idea for that.
Well, with the to be honest, the world famous, that didn't come until after I put the lyrics in there. So I said, I kind of felt that needed to be in there to feel because something is missing. Right. And I thought about the world famous Supreme Team show. I don't know if you remember that song. Yeah,
I do actually.
Yeah. So I thought about that. So, and I said that'll go great right there. Just the whole with the guy singing in the background. And I thought that'll fit well in there. So it's just a feel type thing.
It's so cool. It's like a record that like. I love that you take all the classic vintage elements, and you bring them in like a song like Tut, like I said, the way that you recorded that one was a higher energy level to me than some of the other songs on the record. That was like a boom bap kind of energy.
Yeah.
It makes me, it's such a cool combination hearing that old school vibe with, vocals that are so in your face. Makes me think of like Kanye or Jay-Z or something like that. It's got such a cool, and that to me is why like certain songs on the record feel kind of like radio friendly style tracks, so it's really cool that you're able to like blend in like so much heavy messaging, be so honest with yourself and with whoever's listening to it, and pay so much attention to the groove and you know what I mean, the hook, and being like, oh, this needs something, I got to add something, and then you figure it out and you add it in there, and then it's like, all right, cool. So it's I can imagine it almost feeling like a never-ending process, you know what I mean, where it's like, it's like I said, just knowing you do all that, you do literally, but that's the cool thing about it. If you gave it to someone else to mix, it would sound different. You know what I mean? So you have to have kind of not just a flow, but like almost like a vision of what you want.
Yeah.
And then you just go for it. So with a record like Hut, does that come close to the vision that you would have for it? Or do you listen back and you're like, shit, this is even better? Or is it kind of like that?
Well, with Tut, I said I need a leader, a song to set off the title.
Yeah.
So when I did the production on that track, I said, dang, this might fit the actual title track. Because I just heard the ambiance. I said, this is a great start to grab attention of the listener to say, I like this. Let me see what else he has going on. Because this started the whole project off.
So is Tut the first track on the record?
Yeah.
Oh, so I listened to it backwards.
Were you?
I did it backwards because that's because it's in Google Drives, so it shows up the other way. It shows up, I think.
Okay.
Oh, you numbered them. I'm an idiot because you numbered them. You literally put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in front of the B. I listened to Tut last. I thought it was a banger way to end the record, but it's even better to start even better to start the record with, because you get, that's a song. That's what I'm saying. Like Tut's kind of like a radio song. It's like you get into it, you just like kind of like a slap in the face. Yeah. But it also still has like the conscious hip hop elements. It's got all the vintage stuff going on, and all the vocal stuff is like still cinematic. But you go different directions throughout the record. There's like strings, you know what I mean, and all this other shit going on. So you stick to it, but it's always like branching off into like slightly different, areas. What's the one song? There's one, I think it's Ambient Sobriety. It's like kind of like dreamy and trippy. Yeah. You get experimental with it. So I definitely feel like you did an awesome job of like keeping it in that vintage, keeping that aesthetic where you wanted it to be. But I also think you felt like, I'm gonna do a little bit of this, branch out. This doesn't sound exactly like, the vintage kind of classic soul kind of stuff, but I'm gonna put this in there and make this track a little bit different. So you get experimental with it. No, I see. That's the thing. It's like no wonder it takes 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
No wonder you're sick of being in the studio right now. So is that where you are now? Are you in your studio like area?
Yep. That's where I am now.
What kind of mic do you use to record?
Oh, I use the Rogue.
Oh, you got a Rogue. Nice.
The Rogue. Well, Rode. Sorry, Rode.
You have the Rhodes mic, right?
Yeah, Rode. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because the quality of the
RODE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a bunch of different mics. Yeah. Because the quality of the vocals is real crisp, dude. Like that's a thing too. That's another thing with the mixing. The vocals aren't like, and it's always like this with your stuff. Like sometimes like I listen to a lot of music, so probably even more than the average person would. But it's because I get submissions for stuff a lot, and a lot of time with hip hop or rap, the vocals are just so far above the beat that it's It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna get into anything because they could barely hear the kick drum. Like you gotta have. But your stuff is always balanced. Your vocals are never like super high, but you can hear clarity with like all the words. So I definitely, I can tell you pay a lot of attention to all that shit. I think that's why it comes out so good. Yeah. So are you working on anything? You're gonna take a break now, or are you working on anything new?
Oh no, there's no break. There's no break. No, actually, I'm currently working on the Caesar remix.
Oh shit.
So I'll shoot that to you once we get that finalized. So just for fun, yeah.
Yeah.
From the Vibe King EP.
Yeah.
And then, May, like I said, just do some show things, but then I'll probably start working on a 18 to 24 track album. Got the title for it, got it all laid out, got everything ready to go. So I just need to start working on it.
Wow, you're nuts, man. I mean, cool, awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah. But damn, I mean, if you have a 6-track record that takes you 6 months, you got to mentally prepare. You got to mentally prepare.
One, and I told my partner this was going to take me a while, but it's going to be worth it.
That's a big challenge, man.
Yeah, it's going to be worth it.
You're just leaving stuff behind, dude. You know what I mean? You're like, this is, that's kind of cool about, making records like this. It's like, it'll be around long after you. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like immortalizing in a certain sense.
Yeah.
But I love that you that this record is so current and so like relevant, and still based on, it still has like personality and perspective behind it. I think a lot of people connect with that.
Yeah.
So all right, so I'm not gonna ask you about 18-track records for another year. I'll hit you up in a year and say, yeah. But until then, or maybe longer. But until then, so this is out right now. So the Tut EP is out right now on the website and
on YouTube.
And YouTube. Okay, so we'll put the website link down there. See it, and then you can go there and check out the record, and then it'll be on the regular platforms.
February 12th.
February 12th. Okay, cool. And that's probably when we'll probably pop this up around then or sooner. Probably sooner than that, actually. If it's on your site, we'll just pop this up sooner than that. And then we'll update it when it comes out on Spotify and stuff or wherever. I'll probably just update it and add that link in there. But we don't need to wait till the 12th to pop this up. But all right, great. So yeah, this is a great EP, man. I think everything you do is a little different each time. You definitely go different directions, but I think this one had some of the tightest production and some of the most heavy-handed. Well, you always have good messaging too, is the thing. But it's definitely like more crystal clarity, with this one. And you definitely, when I listened to it the first time, I definitely got that that sense of, you have to kind of rise above it type of sentiment, and you're like, yo, I'm here to, like you said, now you're telling me that the actual, it's like, here's how you do that. Okay, this is my perspective on how you can rise above it and think for yourself and not feel trapped and not know where to go, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really about being yourself, which is really important. So yeah, it's got a load of character as usual. So this is great. We'll put this out soon, and I'll put the links for everything so people can catch it on the website, and so people can go to YouTube and listen to it. And then when Spotify comes out, I'll add that. Dude, I have to thank you again. This
Appreciate
is awesome.
you for having me.
I always love talking to you, man. Yeah,
always great.
Same here. Yeah, same here, dude. So I'll have this whole thing.
And just know you always get it first.
Distortion, propaganda, need mind abortion. That's expensive, need all endorsements. I need love deeper than the ocean. Who got the potion? Who in motion? Dedication, straight devotion. I'd like to know where you got the notion that I ain't him. I'm not them. Play consistent.